Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's switch it up today. I'll be mixing tree with English because I realize some of my students do not understand English. I'm coming down to their level of comprehension. Guy, listen carefully and pay attention so you don't miss any important details. In his rebuttal video, our very brilliant brother claimed he left links to high-level evidence in his comment section. And so I took the liberty of opening every single web page those links led to. And honestly, he made my work very easy. Now, although he shared 5 links, the first, fourth, and fifth all direct us to the same page, the urban facial plastics page, whilst the second and third also lead us to the same page, pediatric EM muscles. You can copy and paste these hyperlinks into any browser to verify this for yourself. Now, let's subject these 2 web pages to a simple test of clarity, sufficiency, and reasoning. On the urban facial plastic page, the first and obvious red flag is this: it is not a research paper. It is a newsletter style blog written by a single person on his personal website where he shares his own views on how to suture like a facial plastic surgeon. It is an opinion piece. It is not a guideline. Second, and this is crucial, the author himself clearly issues a disclaimer stating, and I quote, "This blog does not constitute medical advice. Before acting or relying upon any information written in this newsletter, seek the advice of a medical doctor." Let that sink in for a second. So if you cite something as high-level evidence, and the very author warns against treating it as medical advice and to seek medical guidance before relying on it, then you cannot honestly present that link as authoritative scientific evidence. Not everything written online qualifies as high-level evidence. If someone confidently parades such a link as top-tier evidence to support his bogus claims, that is not lack of access to information. It is intellectual indiscipline and academic incompetence. In simple terms, you are literally being lazy, and excuse my language, very stupid to say such a link as your evidence. And that is exactly why sources like this needs to be re-examined and not just shared. Now, the remaining 2 hyperlinks, like I said, pointed to one page, the pediatric EM muscles. Again, this is not a research paper. It is an educational editorial platform designed for pediatric emergency teaching, not a peer-reviewed clinical trial, nor a formal guideline document. Now, if you take specific exceptions like these pediatric cases and attempt to stretch them into a universal rule for all patients, especially adults, the context under which this whole thing began, you are distorting facts. My reaction video was clearly discussing ideal clinical situations, not rare exceptions like this, and these exceptions do not redefine the general rule. Pediatric injuries is a whole new ballgame, guy. You want to work on them as quickly as possible and minimize subsequent interactions with them, especially if you don't have the technical know-how on how to safely sedate them. Now, you also spoke about how technically challenging it's going to be to remove these very fine, tiny sutures. I understand your frustration, but you see, and think, and yeah, because of how we do it. You see, I have these small sutures, 6-0, which comes in handy when I need to do fine suturing. And in this picture, this is how I did it when you need to segregate it in distances so that, oh yeah, ombre, you just cut a portion and pull that one out. And yeah, and think, if you don't know how it's done, ask, you'll be taught. Now, in other exceptions such as